Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you for probably the second year in a row. The Hell in the Cell pay-per-view has came around, and I think I'm going to start out this review just basically the same way that I started out last year's review. The amount of times that WWE gives in between these two pay-per-views in October isn't enough time. It's not enough time to make you care about anything and make you really feel like this is going to be worth your time on a Sunday night to sit down and watch the wrestling. For what this pay-per-view was, it was really, really good. For anybody that went out of their way and paid money for this pay-per-view after the last pay-per-view last month, or earlier in this month, I must tip my hat to you and say that you're crazy, and you must really love the Hell in the Cell concept, or you must just really, really love WWE. I haven't really been up to date on WWE for the past few weeks, mainly because I've been so wrapped up in the TNA Bound for Glory trip. I didn't get Monday off this week because of my trip, or I didn't get the Monday off last week because of my trip, and then this week I just didn't even watch Raw because I flat out didn't even know that it was Monday because I was getting back from my trip. But tonight's pay-per-view, I got to see a good amount of the show tonight. And I must say that, the main event stuff, the things that you went to order the pay-per-view for, really was good. And I'm not sure if that's really worth the money or making you want to buy it on DVD. But it was probably worth the time to sit down and watch this show tonight. The show opened with your tag titles. Of course, everything's revolving right now around Cody Rhodes and Goldust. And their title reign where they took on the Shield, and the Usos were added into this as a special number one contender team to make this a three-way team. All three teams were able to get their shit in. This was a very good opening match. I'm a big fan of tag team matches opening up the show because I'm a big fan of just everything that's involved with it, the high-flying action, guys flying around, not really having to wait on the big cell spot unless you're waiting for the hot tag. And we got everything we could get from this. Cody and Goldust, of course, got the win after Cody hit the crossroads on Seth Rollins for the win. And the Rhodes train keeps on going, and we'll see where they go from here. A lot of people are saying this is going to be a Wrestlemania match when these guys finally break up. And we'll have to see what happens from here. I'm not in a huge rush for the Shield to get the titles back because they just haven't been looking, that great these days. If the Usos are to be able to become, first-time tag team champions out of this, I'll be really happy because they're one of the bright spots that I liked out of watching main events because they're guys that highly get featured on there, and they work really, really good matches, and they're fun to watch. And for some reason, they're a team that just hasn't really got their due yet, and hopefully they will. The next match was just overall confusing. It was The Miz going up against Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt never appeared. He was attacked by the tag team of Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. They came down there. They destroyed Miz. They beat him up. And as they were beating him up, Kane came down to make the save. Kane was able to fight off both men. This is his return after SummerSlam, after getting the steel chair of death, I guess you can say, after being decapitated almost. I was really thinking that when Kane came back, it was going to be more of he was involved with the cult, they sort of brainwashed him, and he came down and he was going to be their big guy in the back to sort of be the muscle of the group, getting the other three guys over and out of trouble along the way. I can also see if maybe the Wyatt family got somebody like Zack Ryder, who doesn't really have anything going on, made him ditch his gimmick and become one of them almost, much like with the Right to Censor stuff. I don't think anybody ever thought that Val Venus and the Godfather would ditch their gimmicks and just be wearing, white suits and ties, but that honestly really, really did work. So if you think I'm crazy, they was saying that, Kane and, Zack Ryder would join them, think of that, and it might pan out for you in the long run. After Kane cleaned house, Kane kicked the Miz's ass, because everybody kicks the Miz's ass these days. And where they go from here, I have no idea, because you could have done Kane and Miz going up against the Wyatts and tried to make this make sense on what the fuck they're doing with the Miz these days, but who knows anymore. After this was a dreadful, horrible match of Fandango and Summer Rae going up against the Great Khali and Natalya. Summer Rae really surprised me. She got the win in this match, pinning Natalya with the roll-up win. And Great Khali doesn't need to be on pay-per-view anymore. You can put him on SmackDown and try and edit his matches up as much as you can. But anybody who's paying for this, honestly just call their local cable companies and ask for a refund and just say Great Khali was on the show, and that should be enough said. We had a late schedule change. Of course, everybody knows card subject to change. The pre-show match was supposed to feature Big E Langston going for the Intercontinental title up against Curtis Axel. I really didn't think he had a chance to win, but I really think that Big E Langston has a bright future in the WWE, and somehow he has to get that first title, and Curtis Axel is sort of like a bad holding spot for the IC belt. It's the only thing making him the least bit credible and keeping him off of Superstars tapings. I can't wait for the day that Paul Heyman dumps him. I can't believe that I was duped as well as other people were duped making videos about him having a bright future, becoming a WWE champion or a World Heavyweight champion someday. Let's just face it, McGillicuddy's never going to get over in WWE. It didn't work. In 2010, I put him on my list of guys that I thought were going to become future champions. It's just not going to work, and I don't know what the fuck's going on with this guy. The only thing he's doing is making that Intercontinental title look worse every day he has it. So it doesn't make any sense. But Big E Langston was moved into a spot for the U.S. title going up against Dean Ambrose. He did win the title in a bloody brawl. I guess you can say, with Big E Langston getting split open. He won the match via countout when they were both knocked out of the ring. Big E Langston was able to recoup and get back in. Dean Ambrose stayed on the outside. Whether this means that Big E Langston is going to stay in contention for the U.S. title now, I'm not sure. But the more of Big E Langston I see, the more I like. He's a really, really good dude. I want to see more babyface stuff out of him. I've heard that he was a real good draw and a real good watch when he was in NXT. And as a babyface, and he was better than as a heel. Because as a heel, he did the real cool thing with Caitlyn and AJ. But besides that, he just really stood there in the background with this banana-shaped hammock singlet, and that was about it. CM Punk versus Ryback in the Hell in the Cell was, sort of billed as a 2-on-1 match, but Paul Heyman never entered into the cage. He was carted up to the top with like a cherry picker, and he stood on top, sort of managing the match from above the action. CM Punk was able to beat Ryback clean in the center of the ring. Honestly, a big surprise. I made the video yesterday that people are saying that Ryback has heat in the WWE. If Ryback has heat in the WWE, there's no way in the world that he's, could be rumored as being in a match with The Undertaker as sort of like a backup plan at Wrestlemania. And there's no way in the world that he's going to make it to Wrestlemania in order to be believable fighting The Undertaker when he can't beat CM Punk. Second pay-per-view in a row that he's lost, I guess you can say sort of clean. Punk did kick him in the nuts on the last pay-per-view. But this one he just straight up just hit the GTS. Pinned him, got out of the cage, climbed up, beat the shit out of Heyman. I believe he hit him with the kendo stick about a dozen times. Then he just hit the GTS, and that was it. Hopefully this will be the end of CM Punk versus Paul Heyman, because it bored the shit out of me. And maybe Punk can, I don't know what they're going to do with Punk, because you would think that they got their own thing, but well, fuck it. Orton wins the title at the end. But he was sort of screwed, so, what do you do now? Is it, Bryan is going to get another shot at him because, he sort of got screwed out of this match and he didn't lose clean? Or, is CM Punk going to be there? Because what the fuck else are you going to do with Punk? There's no more Paul Heyman guys out there unless they want to, I don't know, make Yoshitatsu a Paul Heyman guy, and maybe Punk will fight Tatsu on next month's pay-per-view. I really can't think of what there is out there unless they want to maybe do Orton versus Bryan one more time for the final time at Survivor Series. And maybe do Punk versus Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship, because that wouldn't make sense either, because they're both baby faces. So what the fuck are you going to do with Punk? You just tell him to go sit home and on the couch and we'll call you in a month when we have a plan on what we can do for you? Because I have no clue what they're doing. And there's no way in the world I want to sit through another one of these Punk versus Ryback matches. Next one, we have Los Matadores against Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro. Fun stuff. My guy fucked it up. Swagger lost. Matadores got the win. Next one, John Cena, the man himself. I made the video this morning with the John Cena pre-party. telling you he was going to win the title. He came in, he did win the title. He did sell a whole lot more in this match. The storyline was basically Del Rio taking it to Cena's arm. Of course, he hit the arm bar on there a few times to worm around the ring. At one time, from the ground position, Cena had the arm bar, and he was able to counter it by picking Del Rio up and power slamming him one arm down to break the hold. That guy is the fucking man. If you're not a big John Cena fan, I don't know what the hell the world you were watching wrestling for these days. John Cena, the 14-time champion, of course, tying him with Triple H, moving him within 2 of the record of Ric Flair. Woo! That's crazy. I remember looking at that record when I was a kid and just thinking that was, unbreakable. Of course, they did more title changes back in the day with Ric Flair and the NWA World Heavyweight Championship and WCW title. To think of that Hulk Hogan is just a 4-time champion. Shawn Michaels is a 3-time champion. John Cena is a 14-time champion. The Rock hasn't had the title that many times. I can't think of the number. They did shotgun it a lot during the Attitude Era, but I know he's not over 10. Austin's not over 10. And those guys are fucking awesome. Undertaker's nowhere close. That's just crazy. So congratulations, tip the hat to John Cena beating Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. Divas match, who gives a shit? But Brie versus Nikki is coming soon. AJ is still your title champion. And in the main event, you see Shawn Michaels turning on Daniel Bryan, giving him the super kick after, I don't know. This match to me just, I don't know, it didn't do it. I was excited to see what was going to happen, excited to see, the final spot of the match. But, if Michaels was going to screw him, why the fuck did the match go on so long? It didn't really make sense. There was a time in the match when Orton tried to go for a pin. Michaels counted, and Orton thought it was too slow, which led to a confrontation between them two. Triple H came out there because he didn't like the way the match was being officiated. Shawn Michaels and Triple H get into an argument. Then all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan starts running around, hitting everybody with knees, knocking everybody out. He knocks Triple H out. He knocks Orton out. And then all of a sudden, Michaels just kicks him in the head. Super kick, sweet chin music. It's over. Counts the pin. Orton takes the belt home, and we get to see what happens from here on Monday. Who knows if Shawn Michaels is going back to the ranch, going to go hunting with Stone Cold Steve Austin or something like that, or if he's going to be an ongoing piece of the puzzle that is Monday Night Raw. If we're going to see him, work into the next month. People have been questioning if he's going to be, coming back into action. Probably not for like a full-time wrestling spot, I can guarantee you that, but maybe for one more match to build you up to maybe a Daniel Bryan versus Triple H match at WrestleMania. But, scratch your head. I guess you can say now that Triple H versus Shawn Michaels is off the table, with them both being on the same sides of the screw job. So, there you go, Hell in a Cell, 2013. Start counting us down to Survivor Series in Boston. Fun times, everybody. See you on Monday. Peace out.